Good morning, y'all. Wanted to kind of reiterate one thing that Brother David said during his message is how God is a God of order. And I think because of that, that he expects us all to be good stewards of what he's given us. And stewardship, our stewardship includes how we manage our resources, the resources that we're given here on this earth to do what he's commanded us to do with. Part of that stewardship is voting. And that's coming up this week. This Tuesday is early voting, and I'll give you the early voting times and locations here shortly. But one thing I want to call to you guys' attention is, some of you may or may not be aware that we lost a Supreme Court justice yesterday. Justice Scalia passed away very suddenly. He was not ill. He was a constitutional conservative. He firmly believed and upheld the Constitution in all of his rulings, or the majority of his rulings. He was a friend of the biblical values that are founded in the Constitution. Us, as biblical worldview Christians, this is a huge pivotal moment in our society. And I want everyone to understand this is a really big deal. If ever there was a time in our history, in our lives, where we stand to see a change one way or the other, it's right now. I ask all of you to pray. With the elections coming up, with Tuesday being the first day of early voting, we have the opportunity to choose a presidential candidate. No matter what party it is, we have an opportunity to choose a presidential candidate that's going to shape the Supreme Court. And you say the Supreme Court doesn't affect me? Well, the Supreme Court was the one that ruled this past summer that same-sex marriage was something that was acceptable. That's not acceptable to God, and it shouldn't be acceptable to us as Christians. So this is a time for us to shape that court, because the next president will have the opportunity to name, well, before Scalia passed away, have the opportunity to name at least 2 justices, they're saying, because of people that are going to retire. Well, now maybe 3. That's going to totally reshape that court. Another thing coming up with the Supreme Court, just in a few weeks on March the 2nd, they're going to be hearing the oral arguments for HB2. HB2 is the bill, the abortion bill that was 2 sessions ago in Texas that basically limited the number of abortion clinics within the state and also just tightened those restrictions on abortion. That's being held, those oral arguments are being argued before the Supreme Court coming up in a few weeks. You guys, we're supposed to be bathing the Supreme Court in prayer over the next few weeks, over the next month, as well as these elections. I don't know any more way to convey the urgency of what's placed before us. Are we going to be found faithful? Are we going to put aside our personal differences? Are we going to get outside our comfort zone? Are we going to quit worrying about facing confrontation? Are we going to educate ourselves on the issues? Are we going to pray and seek God's face? And are we going to get out and do what we've been gifted with the opportunity to do in the stewardship that's expected of us? I don't know any other way to put it. If you want to jot these down, this Tuesday, early voting begins. Hours are 8 to 5. You got all day. Downtown at the library in Orange, on 5th Street. In Mauriceville, the Volunteer Fire Department. In Bridge City, the Public Works Building. And Inviter at the Raymond Gould Community Center. And during early voting, as a registered voter of Orange County, you can vote in any one of those locations. So if you happen to live in Orange but you work in Inviter, you can go on your lunch break and you can vote in Inviter. Election day is March the 1st. Don't wait till election day, because you'll be sick, the car will break down, you'll have a flat tire, something's going to come up, and you're not going to be able to go. So I encourage you all to go early voting. And also one more thing, if you're questioning who do I vote for that has biblical worldview, the great website that I like to refer to is ivoterguide.com. That's I, like the letter I, like iPhone, ivoterguide.com. Put in your address and it'll pull up all the races. It'll tell you who tends to be moderate, who tends to be conservative, and you can even break it down to see the questions, the answers that they gave to specific questions that they were asked. So educate yourself and vote.
So we do have a balance with the Supreme Court, the executive branch and Congress that's already in a mess. And now with that balance in the Supreme Court possibly swinging even further to the left, she's right. This is an extraordinary challenge. Well, you saw the commercial about the True Life cards, and there's still an abundance on the table over there. How many of you have had a chance to give one out? You can raise your hand. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you all that did that. If you haven't yet, don't be afraid. Have any of you that gave out a card, were you shot, stabbed, bitten? Anybody? No? Will said he was shot. So, now he ought to be shot. Okay. Does anybody here have a spare tire and a jack in your car? Anybody? Good. Y'all are preppers. Anybody got car insurance? Anybody car insurance? Health insurance? Anybody? Health? Life insurance? Oh, preppers! All these preppers in the room. You're gonna love it on Saturday. Some more of these flyers. They're on the table over there. Really would like for you to take some and give them to your neighbors, friends at work. Give them to your enemies. It's gonna be good. Confuse them, you know. But anyway, a part of all of this is going to be the basic thing. If I were to ask you, instead of a tire and a jack, how many of you have enough water, food in your house to feed yourself and your families for a month? Did you raise your hand on that? I got some hands. Good deal. If you don't know how to do that, Lonnie McKay is going to wave at me. He's going to teach you how to do that on Saturday. Give you the information on it. You need to come. Now, Nick told us the thing starts at 8 and goes to 4. And that's absolutely true. But there are all these individual classes. If you don't get here before 9 o'clock when the classes start, pick up a schedule. Now those schedules are going to go out online, hopefully, to everybody soon. The speakers are evaluating them right now. But you'll be able to go through and say, okay, I want to go to that gold and silver class to learn about how to protect my investments that way. What time is that? I want to go to that homesteading course. I want to go and learn how to raise broiler chickens and pigs. You've just been wanting to know how to do that, haven't you, Randy Ray? See? Every one of those classes is in a time slot. It may not happen this month. You're going to have Scott teach you how to go fishing. Right? You make sure you get here on time. You get here late, just have an hour to walk the expo hall, see all the vendors, look at the schedule, pick your classes. Al and the guys are going to put in your lunchtime, and I think the next paperwork is not over. We hope that you're planning to be a part of it and bring some folks with you. Let me tell you who you probably really ought to be. You're one of the people that have food and water. Your neighbors know that. You know what they're all saying. If something goes wrong, I'm going to go to Scott. He's going to have So if 5,000 people show up to practice, how can I make it? So who should stop for all of his neighbors? You should bring all of his neighbors to the church. I don't want to forget it's your home. Bring your neighbors and take them to the house.
Valentine's Day, everybody. If you celebrate that, if you're married, you should. And we're gonna sing a chorus of Refiner's Fire. And God bless you all. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you this afternoon and evening. But let's sing this chorus.